Good morning there, friends and neighbors. Bobby here today. Hey folks, today we're going to build some railings on each side of this old porch here. Now you also notice we have some busted brick here on this porch also, and in a separate video I'll show you how we fix that up. But today we're going to focus mainly on building these railings. Now as you see, I have dug some holes down here at the bottom, one right here at the top of the porch here, about in that area. We got one dug, and down here in the corner right up against the house. Now we did run into a problem with our concrete foundation, so I didn't really get these holes as deep as I'd like to, but we're still down probably 8 to 12 inches. But what I'm going to do, I bought some of these brackets here, and this is a little angle bracket made out of probably about some 10 gauge stuff. It's almost a little between a 1/16 and an 1/8 inch thick, and we're going to come up here and we're going to put a extra bracket probably on the inside where it's not as noticeable, and we'll actually use our drill, our hammer drill, and we'll drill in here and do a tampon screw and actually screw it to the post. Okay, we'll do one of those on each side, one maybe two, and here on this one also we'll probably come in here on the side of the brick and do the same thing, at least one right here. Now down here at the bottom, we were able to get on both sides of the porch, we got probably almost 2 foot deep, so I'm happy with that. That was the most important thing, because I wouldn't have had any other way of securing it if I didn't. So friends, we're going to get started setting some posts, and stay tuned. Now friends, we've got 3 of our posts already set on this side here, and I'll tell you how we done this. First thing we done is the one up here against the house. I went ahead and cut it to the height that I wanted, and I went ahead and put my cap on, and like I was telling you earlier, we use these brackets here drilled into the brick with our hammer drill attached to our bracket. We plumbed this up with the level first of all too. Went ahead and screwed it into here, and down here at the bottom you see that we've already set it in concrete at the bottom. We done our next one the same way. We've got a bracket going right into the side of the brick, got it set in concrete. Then we screwed us a 2x4 on here where we could set our bottom one here. We wanted it to be in line with our other two, since it's going to stick away from the porch a little bit down here. And we went ahead and got it set in concrete, got it plumbed up, put us a little brace on here, actually ran it through our bush here down to a stake. Now folks, that's where we're at right now, and we're getting ready to get started on this side and get these set in place the same way. Now friends, we got both sides set. We got the ones on the right side of the porch set too, and everything's plumbed up, leveled up, braced off. We're gonna let this sit up the rest of the day, clean up our tools. We'll get back on this thing first thing in the morning, and we'll start cutting off these posts at the right height, and we'll start building some railings. So we'll see you tomorrow. Hey there friends, hey, we're back here after a couple days of letting our concrete set up good. I've actually been a little bit under the weather, so I didn't get right back on this project the next day. Still kind of recovering from a bad springtime cold. These colds in the springtime can sure get you down. But folks, we're back on it today. I'm going to show you the first thing we're going to do. Is you remember, we have one post here cut the correct height, okay, and we went ahead and put our little decorative knob up on top here. What we're going to do today is, the first thing we're going to do is get the height of all the rest of them cut where we want them. The way that we'll do that is we'll take a level, okay, and we'll hold it up against at the top here. We'll come over here, get it nice and level, make us a mark there. We'll come across here also. Actually the level's not long enough, so I'll actually have to put a 2x4 across here and put the level on top. We'll get us a mark over here, and we'll do the same thing here from this post over to this one. So we'll have all these 4 up top here, we'll have all them cut the correct height and everything, and then all we'll have to do is cut the ones at the bottom. The way that we'll do that, I don't have anybody filming today, so I'm just going to kind of explain what I'm going to do and then do it, and we'll go on to the next step. I'll put a 2x4 down across these steps to get the angle of these steps right, and I'll get it slid over here against this post. I'll put a mark there. I'll put one down here at the bottom, and then I'll take a measurement from my mark up to where I've cut the post off, and whatever that measurement will be, I'll come down here on the bottom and I'll measure from my mark here up here, and then I'll square it off, and that'll cut both of these bottom posts. And to double check, I'll actually also, after I make both them marks, I'll put a level across here also to make sure that that's nice and level. It should be, and if not, we'll make a slight adjustment. So friends, that's what we're going to work on here for a little bit. Get these posts cut the right height, and then we'll take you through the next step. Now friends, we got all our posts cut at the right height. We've got it all leveled off, squared off, cut, and we've got our little decorative knobs put in place. I want to take you up here. This is probably the most, if there's a difficult thing about this, this would probably be the most difficult thing, is actually trying to figure out where your pickets go, okay? So what we've done, we went ahead and screwed one picket to our post that's up against the house. Made sure this picket was the same length as the one out here, and we went ahead and screwed it here. And what we did, we figured we wanted to drop down about 4 inches from the top of our post here. So we come down, we made a mark. First of all, we thought we wanted to be about 2 inches down. I decided to come on down a little bit further. I wanted to drop the rail a little further, because we're going to have a 1-inch piece of 5/4 board as our handrail up here. So we'll end up having about 3 inches, maybe 3 3¼ of, or 3 or less of a space right up here at the top. But anyway, let's get back to marking pickets, okay? Because some people may find this the most difficult thing to do. So basically what I've done, I've got these screwed in place. I went ahead and screwed a 2x4 through the pickets, and I'm going to come back with some 3.5-inch screws and go in at an angle at the top and at the bottom, and maybe one on the side. We want to make sure this 2x4 is nice and secured to our 4x4 post. So we took a measurement from the center of this picket to the center of this picket right here. Now that measurement was 39 5/8 of an inch. Now what we needed to do is convert that 5/8 of an inch over where we could do a little bit of math on our calculator. Now 1/8 of an inch is 125 thousandths, which you would write that out as 0.125. Okay, so what we did is we put in 39.625. okay, that's 5/8 of an inch. Remember, a 1/2 inch would be 500 thousandths, so if you added another inch, it would be 625 thousandths. So that's our measurement right there in the calculator. And a good rule of thumb to start with, because you want to, most code will require you to have no more than 4 inches in between a picket, okay? So a good number to start with is 5. So we know we got almost 40 inches here, and 5 goes into 40 8 times, so we're looking at 8 pickets, okay? So let's just start with 8. Let's divide this number by 8, and let's see what we come up with here. So our number is 4.95. okay? Now 9.5, about the closest thing on the tape measure of that is pretty close to 15/16 of an inch. So what I did was cut a block, if I can find it. Here it is. Got this block of wood here. The easiest way to do it, I cut this block of wood 4 15/16 of an inch, okay? We come right up here at the top and we center it right here on this first picket, and out here at the edge we put us a mark, okay? And then from that you can go ahead and just lay it on that mark, make you a mark right there, make you a mark here, and all the way down until you get to the end. You made your last mark, and you can hold it up here, and look here, we're pretty much centered with this other picket. So that's going to be about as close as we can get there with our pickets. That's a pretty easy way to figure them. And from this point here, we will actually take our pickets, we'll flush them up here at the top, and we'll center them. We'll just kind of eyeball them and center them on this mark here, flush it up. We'll just pop a little finishing nail in them right now, and we'll stick them all up here, and we'll put one nail in each one of them, and we'll let them hang, okay? And then we'll take our little 2-foot level, and we'll put a level on each one, and then we'll go down here and nail them at the bottom. And then from that finishing nail is not going to be good enough to hold it. So we'll actually come in here and we'll drill, pre-drill, and put 2 screws, 2-inch screws in each one of these pickets at the top and at the bottom. So friends, when I see you again, we'll have that step taken care of. Hey friends, we're back here on our final day here on our railings. We got one side done yesterday before the rain come, and I just want to briefly go back over what we done. Like I was telling you earlier, we dropped the top of this, actually the top of where this 2x4 here is, we dropped it down 4 inches. So that puts our upper board here at about 3 inches from the top. Now down here on our lower rail, we actually dropped it a little bit further. We actually come down 6 inches from the peak of where this picket is, and of course where this 2x4 here is. And this kind of dropped this down to about 5. And the reason I done that, I just brought it down a little bit more, and it actually has kind of a good look to it. If you were looking at the way these two would meet now, it would look like they would, this angle here would meet like in the center of this post. So it kind of has a good look to it. Plus it dropped my railing just a little bit more. I was worried that it was a little bit too high. Some of the shorter people that come to visit me, I don't want them having to reach up real high to come up the railing. But I just wanted to go back over that with you. And with the pickets, I know that the way I explained it might have been a little bit difficult, and at the end of this video I might sit down with a piece of paper and kind of show you that again. But these pickets here are basically the same way. You come down here to a point where you can measure over square, get your distance between the center of this picket to the center of this picket right here, take that number, divide it, figure out how many pickets you would have by going by the reference of 5 inches apart from center to center, and that should give you at least 4 in the middle. Do that, do the math like I was showing you earlier, and actually it worked out pretty good. These here, we used our same little block to mark off it, because it turned out, it worked out to where there's about 4 15/16 apart from the center mark of each one of them. So it worked out pretty good, and so all the pickets are going to look like they're equally spaced all the way down the side. Now we got this side over here. We did get our upright, went ahead and got it tacked in place just with our finishing gun, and we got our upper piece here tacked in place. We're going to go ahead and start putting up some pickets, finishing these up, and then we'll cut our handrails and we'll be done with this thing. So friends, we're going to get to work and we'll check back with us in a little bit. Okay friends, hey, we're finished up here now. We got this side here built, put together, handrail on top. Both sides done, looking pretty good. Wasn't too bad of a job. Okay friends, I'll take you out in the shop now. I'm going to sit down, kind of make sure I've explained to the best of my ability how to space out your pickets, and then we'll pretty much wrap this video up. And one thing up and coming, if you'll notice down here on this porch here, we have some busted brick where the mortars got weak and the bricks have just fell off the end. We got about 7 brick here that we're going to fix. We'll do a separate video on repairing your brick steps. Okay friends, stay tuned and we'll try to explain the measuring off of the pickets a little bit better. Now friends, I've drawn up this little diagram here, and this is going to represent your post that you would have up for your railing, your 2 big 4x4 posts, and a 2x4 turned on the side going across here. This represents one of our pickets here, and here's what we've got, some pre-cut pickets that are probably about 1 inch and let's see, they're like 1.25 inches by 1.25 inches. Okay, so if we want to find out, if we got distance, let's just take a basic measurement. I mean, we're going to not do this to scale, but let's just take 40 inches. Let's say we measured from the center of this picket to the center of this picket over here, and let's say we come up with a measurement of 40 inches, okay? Now 40 inches, what we would want to do is figure out how many times 5 would go into 40. Of course it goes in there 8 times. So that would give us 8 pickets plus the one on the end, it'd be a total of 9. But 5 is a good number to start with. And so if it works out to exactly 40 inches from center to center, all you have to do is come down through here and start in here and measure 5 inches, measure another 5 inches, another 5 inches all the way down, and you should work out exactly 40 right there. And then you can hold your pickets up on the center of that mark and go ahead and nail the top of your pickets, okay? Real simple. Now let's say if it is a measurement like, let's say 39, okay? It's an inch short. Well, let's take our calculator and we'll put in 39 and divide it by 8, and we come up with a number of 4.875. Now you have to convert the 0.875 over into, you know, your normal tape measure measurements here, and I know from experience that that right there would be 4 7/8 of an inch. So then we would just come up here and we would mark off, you know, from the center of here we'd come over 4 7/8 of an inch, and then our next measurement would be, well, you know what, I can't even think of that right offhand. I don't want to study it too much. But one thing you can do, if you don't want to sit there and count off the measurements all the way down, you can cut a block of wood 4 7/8 of an inch. You can lay your first one up there, make your mark, put it beside it, make your mark, put it beside it, make your mark all the way down, okay? If that's easier for you. Now, so that's pretty much how you would do a straight rail. Let's flip this over. Now we've got a handrail going down a set of steps. So basically, we do it the same way. If you take your measurement from a point, you know, down low enough to where you can come over and see what your measurement is. Let's say it's 40 inches also. We know that we're going to lay it off every 5 inches down through here. Now sometimes coming down 5 inches, either you can hold the tape measure, if you got someone to help you hold it, you can hold it this way and keep stepping it down as you go. Or if you figure out this angle that it's going down here, pretty much the easiest way, you had to cut that angle to put this 2x4 up here. And if you cut it on a miter saw, you know what the angle would be. Let's say it's 35 degrees. Well, you can cut a block of wood, you know, 35 degrees, and make sure from this distance to this distance would be 5 inches. And you can hold it up here, put your mark, put it beside it, put your mark, you know, all the way down, and you can mark it off that way. And even still, if it was, you know, 39 inches, or let's say it was a little bit more, let's say it was 42 inches, okay? Well, let's see what 42 would be. If it was 42 divided by 8, we're coming up with 5 1/4 inches in between the pickets, okay? Now, typically, most code, here's 2 pickets right here, and I'm going to measure 5. I'm going to hold it in the center of that one. I'm going to put it 5 1/4 inches, and then I'm going to measure in between these pickets. I want to know what this distance is, because most code will require that you have no more than 4 inches in between your pickets. And I'm holding this here, and I see that I have 3 3/4 of an inch in between, so I'm good to go. So even if that measurement is a little bit more, and I need to space them out 5 1/4, I'm good to go. I mean, I can cut a block 5 1/4, go down this rail, or same works on the front side also. You know, you can pull the tape measure, lay it off 5 1/4, or cut you a block. Friends, I hope this little video was helpful. I thank you for stopping in and checking it out today. Don't forget to subscribe, tell a friend about us, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.